if these can be taken away from a person's role, it isn't a threat. I think as an industry, we'll actually end up with happier people in more productive roles.
A lot of other industries moving a lot faster at the moment, and I think we're playing a bit of catch up, but I think the areas we focus on can have huge impact because it's so unique as compared to other industries.
They'll openly say to you that 30-40% of their day is admin and rekeying and checking documents.
Hi, I'm Amy Crow. I'm product manager at OpenGI, looking from customer research, market research to delivery, go-to-market launch, and product end of life.
I'm Matthew Scott. I've been with OpenGI for nearly a year now. I did work with the business in the past. I had a 7-year sabbatical, and I am an enterprise account manager, so I look after 5 of our top 20 insurance brokers. Okay, first question. AI is changing industries everywhere. Why is it such a game changer within insurance?
As we know, insurance is a lot more conservative than a lot of other industries, but AI is so fast moving and we can't be too far behind, otherwise we'll be fallen across other industries. And most people will know it does help with a lot of automations and improve operational efficiency, especially in the insurance industries. It will be able to help, for example, validating documents, checking if your address is as you say on a policy, or claim processing, fraud detection, those kind of things that just help the agent to actually focus on more complicated tasks rather than manual, repetitive tasks they do day to day, and to focus on things that they can upsell, really. But also for our policyholders or end user prospects, it really helped to improve their customer experience because now everywhere has virtual assistant that deliver 24/7 online support. And we can also use AI to monitor, record the calls coming into call center to help train the staff when they get onboarded and guide them into where they think they can improve, or even give them some tiny triggers and hints about what your next response to be by understanding the customer request.
Yeah, I think you're always going to have early adopters.
Yeah.
And that's naturally any sort of new technology. But I think just with the press coverage that AI gets, it's quite easy to say, oh, we'll step back and we'll see how it evolves. And then you end up with a larger insurer or a larger broker adopting something that we're doing or other companies are doing. And then you kind of see that snowball effect. Do you feel like we're there now as an industry where it's about, the boulder is about to roll down the hill?
Yeah, I think so, because a lot of other industries moving a lot faster at the moment. Yeah. And I think we're playing a bit of catch up, but I think the areas we focus on can have huge impact because it's so unique as compared to other industries that might be different, rather than just helping customer support and buy some clothing and then do online shopping and then return the items. But it's more actually your day-to-day life, helping your insurance, helping customer to be safe, and helping the brokers and insurers to write more products that's more beneficial for them.
Yeah, I do think we'll get to the point where it'll be people are not trying to get on the bus early, but they will then fear being left behind.
Yes.
And let's face it, as an industry, we're quite risk averse anyway, because it's kind of in the nature, isn't it? So,
yeah, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So from your view then, with AI evolving so rapidly, do you see it as a threat or a tool to innovation?
Yeah, so with regards to the tool to innovation, the simple answer is obviously yes. But I think with regards to looking at it as a threat, I think people, broadly speaking, people in different businesses doing different jobs will look at this and say, on paper, AI can do X, Y, Z. That X, Y, Z is my job, and I do that at the moment. But I think the piece that needs to be focused on is the fact that in isolation, the X, Y, Z is part of this person's job that they probably don't want to be doing, or shouldn't be doing, or it's not why they were brought in. So you mentioned before about scanning documents, efficiency pieces, all double keying, for example, all these things, if these can be taken away from a person's role, it isn't a threat. It is a
Helping
tool,
them to focus on
tool
what
for
they want to
yeah,
do.
exactly that. So I think it's not a threat with regards to robots taking people's jobs, which is the obvious perception. That's kind of easy stories to print, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you take a sales operative at a large broker, for example, they'll openly say to you that 30-40% of their day is admin and rekeying and checking documents, because like you said, they're trying to write the right risks.
Yeah.
They're trying to write more of those risks. And at the end of the day, the pound coin conversations are the ones they'd rather be happening, doing renewals, MTAs, picking up pieces of new business rather than having to spend half the day.
Definitely. And as a part of the product manager role is to understand the customer needs and then speaking to them quite a lot. I have spoken to customers who are saying they have around 100 people in their center just to check through documents every single day.
Yeah.
And that's their literally day-to-day job, looking at address, validating your date of birth and your address and your NCD years.
Yeah, so the business line dictates how heavy that admin is. So if it's a large commercial combined, for example, there's a lot of documents to go through, and 80% of that can be done by AI, and then it's the human interaction of the 20% to go, yeah, that's validated, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Or if it's high quantity, high volume motor, for example, it's driving license documents. Has someone actually submitted a driving license, or have they submitted a Blockbuster card, showing my age by saying Blockbuster card there? But
and it also kind of help identifying, detecting where those people or like documents need to be looked further into, so it can be saved on efficiency for more easier documents, but like further more complicated documents can be looked by the agent by using AI to flag it, for example.
And I think as a wider kind of fluffy benefit to this, people will actually have more job satisfaction out of the role that they're doing, because let's face it, no one enjoys doing the mundane tasks and
that's very true.
The rekeying, the repetition, the scanning documents, that kind of thing. So I think as an industry, we'll actually end up with happier people in more productive roles. And then by virtue, you have business growth, you end up with a higher de facto rating because of the service you're given. So I actually think growth across the whole can be really improved by AI. It's just how the royal we term it as that tool of innovation rather than it's a threat to the business kind of thing.
Definitely.
And with regards to the workflow conversation there, so how can AI be used to improve efficiency in day-to-day workflows at OpenGI?
So at the moment, we've already actively using quite a bit of large language model, but like it's kind of open AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, those kind of open sources. And we've seen evidence of using this just general communication, doing presentations, improving emails and messages, but as well as writing backlog user stories, features, and epics, and tidying up and grouping them in the right way. And that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that we've been doing proof of concept on is something called Matilda, that is to use open AI sources to read through policy documents so we can create a summary. And something that, because I have a lot of meetings and then we are able to use transcription and then use transcription to do the summary, so I know my takeaway actions rather than watching through a 2 hours meeting and then trying to catch up.
Yeah, so that extends to all the co-pilot pieces, doesn't it? In terms of, what it's like, you get copied into an email thread of 26 emails, and rather than having to go through it, it can summarise, Matt, we think these are your actions.
Yeah, exactly.
You can pick that up on the train back from London, or rather than I have to wait until I get home to actually go through and see what my actual action is. So I think we've been adopting AI for quite a while. It's just what people term AI and put it into that bucket, isn't it? So it's not overnight that you go, that'd be really handy for us. I think it's just adopting in the best way possible, and for whose role it suits and how it can benefit.
Definitely.
It's great for me because it actually allows me more time to be customer facing, which is that's the skill of the role.
Exactly.
Rather than I'll go away and type this up for 3 hours and then come back to you with some sort of proposal. It's a lot easier to be doing what you enjoy.
That's very true, because I have to do a lot of presentations. All I have to do is put bullet points or like dumping all my thoughts in, and then I can get the AI to help me to make it better, fluffier, so like it's actually presentable at a professional level.
Yeah.
which
I think
we
it gives
can.
us continuity as a business as well.
Yeah.
I think the marketing team would be very happy if we had more. But I think from a continuity of message, and I think it's easier for us to have a bit of alignment on that. And then it obviously helps with the strategic vision from the exec as to we're all doing the same thing, we're all talking about the same thing in the market, and the way we present it off record is the same as well. So
Yeah, definitely.
I think it has big uses.
One of the things we've actually been using out really, not heavily, but like I think it's very valuable, is the customer research and understanding the market. So we are able to use, again, open sources to create questionnaire or like conduct customer interviews by having pre-prepared question sets that we can get and do the market research.
Yeah.
Or we use the piece of software called Compete that use AIs to look for market trends, any open source, so like social media, post and news across the industry, and then gather in summary what the current trend looks like, and that help product to decide where we are at as competitive market and where we move next. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, that's really useful, because competitive intel previously would have been, I'll go and look on the 6 or 7 websites, or go on Insurance Age and try and find the snippets. Whereas when it's gathered for you, and also given a bit of a narrative and an opinion, and let's face it, the whole point of this is that it learns as we input information, isn't it? So it's,
definitely.
Yeah, Compete is gold dust for us.
Yeah. So what are the biggest benefits AI can bring to policyholders and customers, my opinion?
So, I mean, I'm lucky because I spend a lot of time with my customers who are the largest UK insurance brokers. So they have a lot of policyholders. And the main thing for them is to try and create the smoothest journey as possible through the various different channels of activity. So when we say channels of activity, it's incepting the policy at the first point, it's needing an MTA, it's reporting a claim, and then it's renewal. Ideally, the claim doesn't happen, but that's when the broker kind of earns their stripes with regards to delivering that service that the policyholder expected. So I think AI brings a lot of shortcuts to that journey, and AI can gather all the. You hear so many times that I had a claim and I had to rekey my information 4 or 5 different times to the claims company, to the broker, then to the insurer. And I think speeding up that journey to make it as painless as possible in a policyholder's time of need is crucial. And then I think the important piece that we can probably talk about a bit later is if someone can do an MTA or report a claim or have a conversation with the broker through the virtual assistant, for example. I think that's really important to that impact on customer. If I can just log on to broker A's website and say, am I covered to drive my wife's car, or how much would it be for travel insurance just to go around Europe for a week with the family? And if you're getting results there and then, or can I just check my document for an endorsement on a certain policy, rather than having to ring up and wait to then speak to someone. But the beauty of that is, I know that I've still then got the option if I want to ring up, or it can then refer me to say, do you know what, talk to an operative, they'll talk you through it.
But it's providing several channels that they prefer at the time that they're available.
So across all those interactions, it creates that omni-channel. But omni-channel isn't new. I just think it creates a lot more accuracy around the responses. I mean, chatbots have been around for forever, but we all know you'd rather, I'll just ring up, I'll wait on hold because then I know what I'm going to get at the end of it. Whereas I think using AI, it brings maximum intelligence, to that conversation. So I think what will happen is that our customers, so broker, insurer, MGA, will bring AI into back office efficiency sort of workflows first, and then take it to market for customer facing activities. But as we've seen with some of our customers at the moment, they're doing both at the same time, and this is now the way we work. And the good thing is it's not really a project that ever gets delivered, because it's just ever evolving. It's
moving so fast, but it's choosing the right one at the right time that we can do to help the journey. Definitely.
Yeah. So looking ahead then, what does the future of AI look like at OpenGI?
So we have a lot of options. Like I just say, like it's moving so fast. We have so many options that we can look into. But we're actually working on. You just mentioned like MTA, for example, using the virtual assistant to deliver like a MTA journey. A policyholder can type in natural language into, I want to add parents to my car. I want to add my dad to the car to drive the car. Instead of going through the traditional clicky buttons, it's more like a conversational journey that we can deliver using this, and then connecting to the past systems, so it's reflected immediately into the policy details as well. That's one of the things. And the other things we can be looking at is policy query, like you say, am I insured to drive my car to France, for example? By scanning through documents, you can get instant answers rather than having to read through your 40 pages of insurance document. And that's two levels as well. That's not just end user, but that's also for call center agent who actually, if a policyholder wants to call up the co-agent, but it will save the co-agent time rather than finding that answer, they can just type in a question directly to the chatbot and then get the answer back. So that also saves them time. So it's kind of providing two different levels. And
I think sometimes that can lead to the way that the conversation goes is actually quite wholesome by the language that's actually used, isn't it? It's not just computer says yes or no. It's very much this is what we think, this is what your policy is, and the way it's written makes you feel like you're not chatting to a human, but it's as close as it can be. You see the three dots and then you get the answer. And then what I like is where I've seen examples of you're not covered to drive to France, but if you want to add a breakdown, it'll be an extra £32. Give us a call, or you can complete this online in the secure payment portal, and it just makes whatever avenue of that journey, the policyholder feels like, I got quite a good service from broker A there. That was as simple as that needed to be. And broker A's made an extra however many pounds by investing in the tech to provide that journey. So
and that's a good point, because that's very different from the traditional chatbot where it's decision tree. So you click one options and then it kind of leads you to an end, but it doesn't understand what you need to do. So for example, you might just get an answer say you can't drive a board, but they don't understand what you're trying to do is actually being able to add additional cover for you to drive a board.
I didn't just need the yes or no.
Needed a further support, but AI can actually understand that and give that options and then bring you further.
It very much is horses for courses, though, isn't it? And I think one of my customers does a lot of non-standard households. So it's a stupid example, but it's thatched roofs, it's holiday homes. There is a lot more questions that need to be asked, and there is often multiple answers to it. It's not just am I covered, yes or no. It's if you're trying to insure, is there a canal there? Is there, and there's a lot of nuances, and then it often does arrive back at, well, let's have a conversation around that over the phone, but you've got 90% of it by having the conversation. In a simpler question format of UK motor, for example, a higher percentage can be dealt with there and then, can't it? So the good thing is it's not just, this is just for this product, it can work on anything. And also, you mentioned the virtual agent, it can sit on any website, it doesn't just have to be an OpenGI website. So
exactly.
Whether it's a portal for documents or payments or renewals, whatever, it can be there as the assistant. Literally, that's what it's called.
Exactly. Like even call center agent or like staff training for them to actually understand how to get the answers quickly, for example, as well. So it's not just for a policyholder to get the MTA done, but to train a new staff coming into the call center to be like, this is how you do things day-to-day life, because they've been trained already by watching or listening to other co-agents, how they've been done, and then it kind of gives advice and faster onboarding for new agents as well.
Yeah, totally.
So what do you think is next for AI in insurance, Matt?
Well, when you say what's next, it can be what's quite far down the line, which we could probably talk about for hours around the ifs, buts, maybes and what might happen. But I suppose what's next for AI in insurance is in what's around the corner and how we think it can have an impact. I think there's probably a huge impact on the people that work in insurance, because if you look at how much time people spend doing activities within their roles that AI can probably take away from them, I think as an industry we can probably upskill quite quickly, we can develop quite quickly. Everyone will have more time to be doing those extracurricular things that probably sit at the bottom of the to-do list, whether it's accreditations, your cert CII, or whether it's attending industry events, or whether it's in-house courses or networking events. I think there can be a big spike in people having a bit more time to actually grow and develop, and we can bring the generations together with adopting AI. And I think as people, the industry can boom. So people working within the industry, I think it'll have a huge impact. And then with regards to what's next for AI in what it means to products and pricing and everything is around data and how it's interpreted and kind of what we do with it or what AI tools can do with it. So if you look at it at this end, we, the royal we, should be able to assess risks to a greater depth. You should be able to assess claims frequencies, claims volumes, be a bit more predictive with forecasting on claims ratios and that kind of thing. So I think there's a lot of benefit and a lot of sort of tidying up to do in-house. I know it sounds quite simple, but at the end of the day, all these businesses, especially my customers, they want to write more premium, they want to write better risks, and they want to do it with the same amount of people. You don't want to have to improve recruitment and increase headcount to get to a higher premium and higher policy count. So I think with the changes, expected changes with regards to rates and market and capacity, I think it's all aligning in this Venn diagram of growth quite nicely. So I think it'll have a huge impact. And what's next? I think you could ask us in a few weeks after time of recording, and the answer would have changed.
It will change already. Yeah,
exactly.
I really like what you said earlier. Going to become predictive. From McKinsey as well, they kind of say that at the moment we are doing more like detecting, but AI can be doing the predictive side of it.
Yeah.
So that's where I think like AI will be changing the insurance landscape.
Yeah. So if you look at that as products, you might have a business that is trying to go into the drone market, for example.
Yeah.
Previously, it's a little bit of a punt, isn't it? Because you can check who else does it. You can have a look at what that market looks like. How easy is it to enter? Can we win customers? Whereas you can now process a hell of a lot more data to be able to say, actually, there's going to be June time would be a great time to launch this product. And this is the carriers we're going to do it with, and this is how we're going to distribute the product. So
that is so true. Yeah.
I think it's going to get a lot of companies to the place they need to be a lot quicker with a bit more accuracy in the simplistic terms.
Yeah, and also more customization of bespoke product because it has so much data, it's able to underwrite so much quicker and at efficiencies and at more accuracy. We may be able to start tailoring insurance product to a specific individual's need based on their risk environment and what they need to be insured for.
Totally agree. So if we look at that as the AI journey in general, the AI journey for insurance, who else is working with us on the AI journey?
So we have several partners or third-party providers that we're working with at the moment. So we have MLP. We work really, really closely with. They won quite a few awards already.
Hot streak for award winners.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, I like their product of propensity to claim, and at point of quote, they're able to. This is the part of the predictions now. At point of bind quote, they predict the likelihood of that customer will be making a claim in the next 12 months. Or similarly, they have propensity to defraud. So at point of binding, they use the past data to give a traffic light or score to the agent to suggest how likely they're going to make a claim, make a fraud when they make a claim.
Okay.
So currently, a lot of brokers they check through the claims manually and kind of randomly select which claims they check through. But using the propensity to defraud, they are able to get a traffic light of green, yellow, and red, and they focus only on checking the red ones, for example. And I think
so that's kind of like auditing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got some personal narrative to, I think they might have a claim.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's comprehensive, and the traffic light system that's set by MLP or set by the broker or the insurer, if it's red, refer it, let's have a look at it. And you still then might take the business on. You might just load the premium to cover, or you might just say, maybe we've got to ask a few more questions. It might then end up being an orange, and you still go ahead with the bind anyway. So
yeah, definitely. And it's based on previous like fraud details and then likelihood of actual fraud cases and then policy and risk data from all across different line of businesses as well. So it's not just kind of a made up thing. So it's been trained.
A lot of my customers are working with MLP at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's kind of in discovery phase or retro. And I think the business case for the impact that it would have had on previous books or will have going forward is going to be massive. So I think it's great to have those guys on board.
Definitely. The other ones that they actually have is optimal pricing, and they have web front end and API services that provide kind of as a toolkit set. So by giving the risk details or the tailor market population, they're able to provide you the maximum and minimum premium prices that's around and sold in the area. So inform the customers what their price range should be based on the information provided from the population, the risk profile, for example. So that's also another really cool one that they have. We do have some really exciting third parties we're working with really closely recently. So Open Dialogue, they specialize in conversational AI, and they focus a lot in very regulated industries such as healthcare, insurance, and did have success stories in previous other insurance company as well. So we're working really closely with them.
The concierge that they have brought out with us is fantastic. I mean, some of my customers are testing it at the moment just as a sort of answering basic questions on the website that, you know, can I pay by check? What's the claims line? Can I add this? Can I do this?
Yeah.
You know, freeing up time for operatives. And then, you know, other customers of mine are looking at, can we do motor MTAs through it? What would it look like for renewals? Can we look at different carriers? So I think, again, that's gathered legs quite quickly.
Yeah.
But again, it's what is that broker or insurer choosing as their customer journey, and how much of it do they want to be digitalised? So it's almost, everyone's moving at different paces, aren't they?
They
I
are.
think the good thing that OpenGI have done is they've chosen to partner or, you know, work with third parties or adopt our own, and we've kind of created that suite that can fit into any ecosystem for any customer. So
that's very true. Yeah,
it's really good. If we were to close this with benefits of AI, I know this could be a dissertation on its own. What do you think you know, I mean, AI is obviously here to stay, and it's not just will this work for us? It already is working for a lot of businesses. What's your kind of key takeaways for the benefits of AI that we probably haven't discussed yet?
I think the main takeaway, like you mentioned earlier, definitely is freeing up a lot of manual tasks and focus more on what the employees want to do and upskills themselves rather than seen as a threat. And we also have a lot of personalization or customer experience that we can enhance using AI by delivering so many more fast, efficient, and 24/7 services that's tailored to their time as well. Other ones we definitely should be looking into is data analytics and management. So we have even just interviews, phone calls, those by doing those transcription from the call or meeting, that can be organized and analyzed using AI rather than human having to read through and then put them into different categories. AI can actually do that for us as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the benefits are endless, and they will continue to evolve as to, you know, how clever they are. But I think that the point around what it means for each person in the day-to-day, just to have Copilot taking your meeting notes, just to have ChatGPT available, you know, it's not just OpenGI tools, it's all the tools available, isn't it? And if it can help everyone in their individual role, free up time and bring a bit of happiness back to roles that probably became quite admin and quite mundane, I think we do see a general trajectory within insurance of happier people and more productive upskilling, and, you know, the accuracy of risk, you know, on the business end of this, it's writing accurate risks, isn't it? It's preparing for claims, and then it's knowing what those claims costs might be. And I think all in all, it's a fantastic thing at the moment. But I think it's, what's the analogy we could use? It's no matter how good the racehorse is, it depends on the jockey, doesn't it? And each business will have a different jockey in terms of, I'm going to adopt this much of it, I'm going to adopt this much of it. And we're here for a hand-holding approach, aren't we? And we can only guide as much. But it's interesting to see where our customers are in their journeys of when and where to adopt this. I mean, the amount of meetings that I sit in now where I'm being presented to say, Matt, this is our strategy and this is our AI strategy. Where can you fit in? it's really exciting doing that, because then we can say, well, we can do this bit, we can do this bit, we partner with these people. So it's quite an exciting time. And I think back to one of the questions at the start, if people are seeing this as a threat, it's very much educating those people as to where they fit in and
A
where their
companion,
role
more
fits in.
like.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, exactly. And then the penny will drop with people, the skeptics, because if you don't use the tools like you said, you will be left behind, and the larger businesses that adopt this will grow at a faster rate.